No one panicked when it started. Because numbers don't look scary at first. It appeared as a tiny decimal in a dataset buried inside an observatory server. A graduate student noticed the Earth's position against distant stars was off by a fraction so small most software would round it away. But astronomers don't round away reality. They chase it. That decimal refused to disappear. It showed up again. And again. Across different telescopes. Different continents. Different skies. At first, they thought the instruments were wrong. Instruments fail all the time. Humans build imperfect tools to measure a universe that never makes mistakes. But when the third observatory confirmed the same drift, the feeling in the room changed. Not fear. Not yet. Something quieter. Like the moment you realize the ground beneath your feet might be slowly moving, and you're the only one who noticed. Earth wasn't exactly where it was supposed to be. Astronomers trust orbital math the way pilots trust gravity. Every planet moves like clockwork. Predictable. Elegant. Reliable. The equations have never lied. So they ran them again. And again. Using radar reflections from Venus. Laser measurements bouncing off mirrors left on the moon decades ago. Satellite timing networks that measure distance using light itself. Every method returned the same answer: Earth was drifting. Not wildly. Not dramatically. Just enough to be undeniable. Imagine measuring your height every day and discovering you grow 1 millimeter overnight. Not enough to notice. But enough to know something impossible is happening. And the drift wasn't random. It was smooth. Continuous. Gentle. As if something had placed a hand against the planet, and started pushing. The confirmation didn't come from Earth. It came from something watching the sun. A solar observatory satellite had quietly logged navigation corrections that didn't make sense. Tiny adjustments. Frequent ones. The kind engineers usually blame on dust or solar wind. Except this time, the corrections formed a curve that matched the astronomers' calculations perfectly. Spacecraft don't lie. They don't guess. They don't assume. They report reality exactly as it is. And reality was saying the same thing from orbit that telescopes were whispering from Earth. Our planet was not following its predicted path. The realization didn't arrive like a thunderclap. It arrived like a door slowly opening in the dark. Scientists across the world joined a call that no one wanted to schedule. Screens filled with tired faces and forced calm voices. Data was shared. Graphs were explained. Equations were defended. And then someone said the sentence that changed everything. If the orbit is changing, the energy has to come from somewhere. You can't move a planet by accident. Not even a little. The room went quiet. Because suddenly this wasn't a measurement problem. It was a physics problem. And physics doesn't allow mystery for long. Something was applying force to Earth. That was the strangest part. Nothing looked wrong. The sun rose on time. The moon followed its familiar path. Birds migrated. Oceans moved. People argued online. The world felt ordinary. But beneath that ordinary surface, calculations were rewriting the future in tiny increments. The drift continued. Every night. Every measurement. Every dataset. Like a heartbeat no one could hear, but instruments could feel. If Earth was being pushed, it wasn't being shoved. It was being guided. The drift wasn't smooth after all. It was pulsing. Mathematicians discovered a faint oscillation in the acceleration. A rhythmic tug layered over the gentle push. Like a planet attached to an invisible thread being gently pulled and released. Pulled and released. Over and over again. The rhythm didn't match any known celestial cycle. Not the moon. Not the sun. Not any planet. Which meant the tug came from something not in the textbooks. Telescopes scanned the sky for hidden objects. Infrared sensors searched for heat. Radar swept the void. They hunted for a mass large enough to influence Earth. They found nothing. Nothing visible. Nothing glowing. Nothing reflecting light. But sometimes nothing is the loudest answer of all. The discovery stayed hidden from the public. Not out of malice. Out of uncertainty. Panic solves nothing. Equations solve everything. At least, that's what they told themselves. While the world slept peacefully, scientists quietly rewrote orbital charts that humanity had trusted for centuries. Every update felt like editing the rules of reality. Satellites began needing more course corrections. Tiny adjustments. Barely noticeable. But growing. Tide models drifted slightly off schedule. Flight paths required new calculations. Timekeeping systems whispered that something subtle had changed. The planet was moving. And technology was starting to notice. Sensitive instruments detected something global, a faint rhythmic fluctuation in gravity. As if Earth itself was gently inhaling and exhaling. Planets don't breathe. But something was breathing on Earth. The theory arrived in a late-night conversation that no one wanted to take seriously. Maybe there wasn't an object pulling Earth. Maybe there was a field. A region of space where gravity behaved differently. Artificially. Precisely. Engineered. The word hung in the room like a storm cloud, then the sky changed. For a few seconds, a patch of stars warped and shimmered. Light bent like glass. Not an eclipse. Not a passing asteroid. Something bending space itself. The first visual proof that the tug was real. And it was moving. The distortion appeared again weeks later. Longer. Stronger. Tracking Earth's new path like a shepherd guiding a flock. We weren't being hit. We were being led. The truth leaked slowly. Orbit corrections. Strange headlines. Scientific whispers becoming public conversation. Humanity argued. Denied. Joked. Panicked. All at once. Because the sky had stopped being predictable. Scientists found timing patterns in the gravitational ripples. Not words. Not symbols. Just perfect synchronization with Earth's year. Whatever was moving us, knew our orbit. Was it dangerous? No one knew. Was it intentional? No one could prove it. But the possibility changed everything. The year grew slightly shorter. The seasons arrived differently. Not dramatically. Not catastrophically. Just enough for the world to feel off. Humanity tried tiny orbital corrections. Satellite burns. Micro adjustments. The tug ignored them completely. Like pushing against a mountain. Models revealed something terrifying: Earth wasn't drifting randomly. It was being guided toward a new orbital corridor. A new path. A destination. On the anniversary of the first decimal, the distortion appeared again. Larger. Longer. Impossible to hide. For the first time in history, humanity looked up and realized the planet was not traveling alone. And whatever was guiding Earth had been patient. Precise. Careful. Which meant it probably had a reason. And that reason had been waiting for us to notice.